Guys, welcome back to my channel. So as for the title guys, you can see in today's video we're gonna be talking about Taylor Swift. So apparently she recently released an album, and we already know that these non-black women, they have a very deep hatred for black women. This is something that personally I have been talking about for the longest of time. So now that you even have women that look like Taylor Swift is ultimately coming out here and pointing out the fact that this woman, regardless of her being engaged to Travis Kelce, a lot of people are seeing the writings on the wall, because I have been telling black women for the longest of time that whenever y'all see these non-black women, whenever they get in a relationship with a man that was with a black woman, we already know that makes these women highly insecure, which is quite interesting because I'm pretty sure that prior to Taylor Swift getting engaged to Travis Kelce, she probably was very much aware of his dating history, because I'm not sure about you guys, but based upon the little that I know about Travis Kelce, in my opinion, it seemed like his preference are indeed black women. And considering this hierarchy that has been placed upon non-black women for the longest of time, we already know whenever these non-black women do go to these white men that has a history of only dating black women, that makes them highly insecure. And especially she specifically is talking about his recent ex, which I'm not sure about you guys, but the public relationship that he had, we already know prior to him getting with Taylor Swift, it was indeed with Kayla Nicole. So again, if I was to hear right now one of Taylor Swift on the radio, guys, I would not be able to tell y'all this is Taylor Swift, because personally, you guys already know how I feel about me giving support to these non-black women, because I'm not one of these delusional black women that I see these non-black women as allies, because I have told you guys over and over, personally, I have been in so many predicaments literally since I was brought onto this earth, considering that I'm an Afro-Latina. I have told you guys over and over, I know very well how these non-black women feel about us as black women. But nonetheless, guys, I wanted to come on here and bring a series of different opinion of, once again, yes, I'm happy to see that black women are coming out here and they're standing behind Kayla Nicole. But also, as you guys momentarily gonna see, there's also women that look like Taylor Swift that they're finally coming out here and admitting, because apparently Taylor Swift is very problematic. Apparently people is just over her. Do you guys know that Taylor Swift is almost 40 years old? So a lot of people are fed up because they say that she keeps singing as if she's still a teenager. Nonetheless, guys, listen to these series of different opinion about Taylor Swift being highly insecure and jealous that her now fiance, all of his ex, seem to be black women. One thing I do have to say about Travis Kelce, he has great taste in women. Nonetheless, listen to these responses and then we will come back with more.
I'm so sorry. This has to be said, though. I truly believe the only reason that Taylor Swift is as famous as she is because the most average, like, unspectacular, boring, victim complex, self-absorbed girls who are so fucking hung up on their middle school boyfriend for cheating on them by the bleachers when they're like pushing 40 now, they see themselves in her. They're like, oh, that's me. And if she's that talentless and mid and boring and she's that famous, she's a billionaire, then that means I can do it too. And it's very disturbing. You guys never do anything provocative. You never actually do anything meaningful. You just kind of like victimize yourself and cry about boys. The world is burning, babe. Hello?
Being a black woman in America, in this world, is so interesting because we just go through life like shining, being ourselves, being the best at everything we do. You know what I mean? And having this light. And then in the darkness, in like the shadows, there's white women. Like just jealous. Like it's really weird. And so because of that jealousy, you get things like Taylor Swift's new album, right? Trying to throw jabs at Kayla. Travis wanted her. You know what I mean? And now she's just trying to like live her life. And you're like trying to be like this pure white girl who's not a bad bitch. And just like a pure girl who you can marry, you could take home to daddy. Beyonce's all the way up there in every way. And the delusion in white people's mind is trying to force Taylor Swift up there. The fact that we even have to have a conversation to say that Taylor Swift is better than Beyonce is the delusion of white people. It's delusional. It's crazy. Like, look at Beyonce. Go up there and look. Like, climb up the stairs and look at Beyonce. This is Taylor Swift. And you're going to open up your mouth and say Taylor Swift is better than Beyonce? She didn't even deserve second spot. But it's the delusion of white people. It's just so It's just so mediocre.
This album broke my heart. I have been a Swiftie since 2004. I'd Lie was my favorite song, if that tells you anything, and I hate it. I think it is so incredibly out of touch. The reason I loved her so much and so many people did is because she is so relatable. And I get it, people evolve, and she has gone so far beyond relatable. She is a billionaire, but she did seem to care that people and her fans related to her. And as much as I appreciate a girl that's like, this is me, this is who I am, I don't care what people think, the fact that she so blatantly wrote an album about how unrelatable she actually is in a time right now seems like a slap in the face. And not only that, what really bothers me is that she used this album when she's on top of the world to punch down at other women. And that to me is so gross. She used it to punch down at another artist and her fiance's ex. And that is unnecessary. And listen, I love a petty queen when it is subtle and when it doesn't actually hurt people. And the way she did it isn't okay, in my opinion. The music itself is fine. The album kind of reminds me of the song Archer, and I know people love that song. I think it's also fine. I'm a Sagittarius, so okay, it's fine. But the album itself just always feels like Archer, like there's something, something's about to drop. Oh, is there something more? Oh, it's getting better. No, that's it. Oh. And that's how the whole album feels to me. It feels like she was trying to stuff 10 pounds of half-baked shit into like a 5-pound bag at the wrong time in the world. And I guess I was also just really hoping that she was going to use this as a bit of a battle cry. I was hoping Canceled was about the orange dude, and it very much wasn't. And I get it that art is also an escape for people, and Life of a Showgirl, obviously it was going to be escapism. I got that from it, but I was hoping that it would be escapism with a little bit of a battle cry, a little bit of redemption for her seemingly very much apathy that she's had for the last year or so. And alas, it wasn't. It's just a big old disappointment on many levels. And my Swiftie flag is slowly disintegrating.
After listening to Taylor Swift's Opalite from her new album, I have just come to the acceptance that if you say you're a Taylor Swift fan, me as a black woman, I'm going to take that as a red flag. Okay.
So because they can't call Kayla Nicole ugly, they can't really use anything against her. So they're trying to weaponize Taylor Swift's fame against Kayla. Have you ever noticed that? Whenever you're an exotical, they can't compare you to an unambiguous black woman and say you're beneath her. Oh no, they have to randomly bring the nearest white person to compare you to.
But if I got engaged and the only thing the world seemed to care about is what my fiance's ex-girlfriend was doing, and you have Page Six and TMZ writing articles about her reactions and stalking her page, and you have my friends going over there to see what she's doing, and everybody's talking about Kayla Nicole compared to me. Baby, give her an award because she did her big one. She left an impression. It's giving black girl magic, black excellence. Because even though I had 9,365 ex-boyfriends and made an album for all of them, no one's checking for them. But you know who they are checking for? My fiance's ex. Yeah, give her an award.
I'm about to be the friend that's too woke. Opalite made me feel nasty inside. I've seen people talk about Taylor punching down on this album in reference to like the whole Charlie XCX song, but I haven't seen anybody talk about it in terms of Opalite. And I just couldn't think of anything else when listening to the song, because for me personally, I became familiar with Travis Kelce as the white football player who only dates black women. And then he started dating Taylor Swift, and now they're engaged, so like that's not the case. But there's a verse on this song, Opalite, where she's referring to one of his last relationships. And I'm like, oh, maybe not doing that. Maybe not referring to a black woman that he used to date in absentia. You as the most famous pop star in the world who is also a thin, wealthy white woman. This is a verse. You couldn't understand it, why you felt alone. You were in it for real, she was in her phone, and you were just a pose. And don't we try to love, give it all we got? You finally left the table, and what a simple thought. You're starving till you're not. Well, it would be one thing if he had been only in like private relationships and people didn't know who any of his past exes were. But he literally was like on a dating show, and also he was kind of everywhere with his last ex-girlfriend, Kayla Nicole, who I think is mainly known for being Travis Kelce's girlfriend before he started dating Taylor Swift. So I was listening to that song and I was like, what's the necessity to talk about his exes and how he was like not understanding why his relationships weren't working when he was giving it all he had, when you could just talk about yourself? I don't know, like we don't exist in vacuums. Like there's everything that we do, all the interpersonal relationships that we have are impacted by the politics of the world that we live in. And I think the main problem that I have with the verse is that it sets up his ex as the problem when there could have been any other number of issues in their relationship. But the idea is like, oh, you're starving till you're not. I was the food that you needed to feed yourself and finally feel full. And she was too busy in that phone. Like she wasn't enough for you. I don't know. It's kind of like weird and gloaty. And this is where the really too woke part comes in, because I started to think about the color imagery in the chorus and I was like, girl. So after she says that thing about how Travis's ex wasn't enough for him, you know, you're starving till you're not, whatever. The chorus is, and that's when I told you, it's all right. You were dancing through the lightning strikes, sleepless in the onyx night, but now the sky is opalite. Oh my lord, never made anyone like you before. You had to make your own sunshine, but now the sky is opalite. Which is this kind of weird mixed metaphor about like the darkness of the night, which was both of their like respective past relationships, and now that they've made each other the way that like people make opalite, because opalite is a man-made stone. They're in the sunrise/sun. It's a weird metaphor. But I'll just say this. The phrase "the sun never sets on the English Empire" wasn't just impactful because it brought to mind the literal fact that like the English Empire spanned the entire globe, right? The sun would literally never set on it. It was also because of the insinuation that through bringing their whiteness to these places that they were colonizing, the English Empire was bringing light to the darkness. The onyx night, if you will. I just think that is a crazy metaphor to have in a song where you are obliquely referencing the black ex-partner of your current fiance. I feel especially off-put by like a need that some people have to like almost be like, oh, I'm better for you than your ex, or I'm better than your ex, or just like insinuate like the ghost of the ex is always in the room with us. It makes me wonder if there is like a weird sense of gratification and like joy that comes in the fact that like, oh, he spent his whole career dating all of these black women and he thought he was going to end up with one of them, but no, it's me, and I can't wait to give him some white babies. And this is not something that is like exclusive to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, right? This is an entire archetype of white person/white couple. And I say this as someone who has had experience dating people outside of my race and being left for a white woman. Because of that experience, I was listening to this song and the only thing that I could think about after that verse was Kayla. You were with this man for 4.5, 5 years, right? And then after you break up, not only do you have to keep seeing him because he's like one of the most famous football players in the country, but then he starts dating the most famous pop star in the world. And you have to watch everyone celebrate the fact that he has started dating the most famous pop star in the world. And there's this underlying implication that part of the reason that that relationship is good and worth celebrating is because she has saved him from Black women that he was previously interested in. And this is an archetype of man, right? The white man who dates Black women until he's ready to settle down and procreate, and then all of a sudden he pulls a white girlfriend out of his ass. There's a season 1 episode of Law & Order SVU about this. Like, this is a tale as old as time. But there was just something about that verse being included on the song that felt almost like being a sore winner or kind of like punching down to me. And I was like, oh, I don't like this. Which is sad because everyone that I know, like a lot of people that I know, they're like, yeah, the album sucks, but this is my favorite song on it. And I'm like, well, I'm Black and traumatized, so that's not the case. I just find it kind of like sad and also embarrassing. Like, why do you have to compare yourself to this woman who is not with this man anymore? And who clearly there was something wrong in their relationship, even if it wasn't just that she was in her phone, but like, they're not together anymore for a reason. Why are you writing about her? You could have just not done that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Once again, I think this woman did a very good job by breaking down anything. Once again, personally, I don't really know her. I don't know her music, so I wouldn't be able to tell y'all. But based upon, as you guys just listen, some of these women that claim to be diehard Taylor Swift fans, they're also over her. Black woman, I have been telling you guys for the longest of time, these women, they know that we are the blueprint. These women, they know exactly what time it is, but because we're living in this whitewash society, sometimes I feel like they be trying to convince themselves that us, we're not the epitome of literally what a woman should be. Nonetheless, guys, this is all that I have to say on this whole predicament. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the Purdue chicken, the unseasoned chicken, Taylor Swift finally coming out here and admitting that she is jealous of Kayla Nicole. Nonetheless, guys, what are your thoughts and opinion, or please send in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.